Yo, what's up? I'm gonna jump right into the wrapping up of the past account, right? The account that I did mess up, which is gonna tie into the June recap, right? Because that's the only account I had for the month of June. Starting from May, I did look at the stats a little bit, right? So it was a 5K evaluation, right? And then we did take the we did breach, right, the rules, losing 500. And clearly on this account, terrible plays. 20% win rate, right? 20% win rate at an average win of $20 with an average lose of 44 obviously is bad, right? So out of total 15 trades, 3 winners and 12 losers. Crazy. 3 winners, 12 losers. What is OB? I don't know what OB is, but I think I did have like one break. It was actually a winner, not even break even. It was a winner for a small percentage. But in any rate, right, 505 gone, 15 trades, 3 winners, 12 losers, right? And then I think I had streaks somewhere here. Yes. Right, max win streak, 2 trades, max loss streak, 8 trades, right? 8 trades at 1% is losing 8 trades at 1%, like basically 8% was lost in a row, right? And then now I think all these other stats don't really matter as much as some few important things that I want to touch on, right? Out of all 15 trades, if I pull up the calendar starting from, not year at a glance, from May, right? May we had one trade, right? This was 0.1 volume. I think I hadn't activated the account. This was just the activation trade. I was worried that I already had it for like a month and I was worried it might expire or something like that. So I just put in a 0.1 trade. This win doesn't actually count. So actually out of 14 trades, it's 2 losers and the rest, not 2 losers, 2 winners and the rest are losses. This counts as a win, but it's not actually a win, so that's kind of bad. And on the 20th, I had a USD CAD loss for $82. Right, $82 is way too much. What did it say? May. And okay, here's problem number one, right? Like the first difference in terms of, I probably should be writing this down somewhere. The first difference I need to be making on the new account compared to this one that I just breached, right? I have, oh shit, 2 columns. Oh my days, let's just talk through this. I have 2 columns, right? First difference, if you look at May, right, there is no actual recorded trades on my part, right? So May, I'd say first account, I'm just writing down on my journal, and then second account, right? No recorded trades for May. No recorded trades for May, right? Which means I wasn't. I want to say I wasn't showing up. I don't want to say I wasn't showing up. I wasn't journaling, right? I wasn't journaling. Right? So first and foremost, I was not journaling, right? So now, because I can't compare the May 20th, right? May 20th, $82. First and foremost, $82 is wrong, right? That means bad risk management. Usually my stop loss is like it's not is like, it should be $50, right? Usually the stop should be 50, and then adding commission, accounting for commission depending on the lot size, average should be like 55, right? But target is actually 50. So add in here poor risk management, right? Poor risk management. It's not poor, I think it was just bad, because this is the only trade where the stop loss actually is, the trade is too big, right? This is too big. This is $30 wasted, right? So stop loss placement, and now I can't cross-reference with my own journal why was my stop so big, right? So poor accountability as well. Poor accountability. So there's poor accountability on that. And then on the 27th, around 56, which should be a genuine loss. And then on the 28th, 250 trades, right? I'd also say these are genuine losses because the risk management is there. But again, I don't know if these were valid trades or not, because I didn't actually record them. And then June, I think, yeah, June, horrible month, did not show up at all, which is bad, right? Anyway, we are addressing that as of now. And then we came back on the 1st of July and took 3 losses on the same day, right? I remember this day very well. First and foremost, this 62, poor risk management. Average should be like 55, so this is a little bit poor risk management, but it's fine. Like I said, I'll work on that, right? It's not fine, it shouldn't be happening at this stage, right? 0.1 volume, I'm not sure what this 0.1 is about. It just adds to losses, right? Unnecessary loss in terms of the graph and the P&L does affect. And then these two USD CAD and Euro USD, these ones are recorded, right? So the good thing about journaling these trades is that USD CAD, I took a loss, right? And then most importantly, it's a valid trade, right? This was in fact a valid trade, so it's a valid loss. It's a loss I can actually get behind. Then the next two, they are not valid trades. Not valid trades. Why are these trades not valid? I remember, I think there was a chalk before. There was a chalk before, right? This was actually, if it can load, maybe, right? There was a chalk here, right? And then in my questions before I enter the trade, right? Notice that there's no questions right here before I enter the trade, like pre-entry checklist. There's no pre-entry checklist compared to random GPSD sell from last week, where I was actually doing the right thing. There's actually a pre-trade checklist, right? In the pre-trade checklist, there's this important question here, right? Is there a break and close? Yes, obviously I want to trade breaks and closes, not sweeps of liquidity, right? And then is there a change of character? No, right? Once there is no change of character, I then only use the M15 risk entry. Not only, but most of the time I use the M15 risk entry, which means there's no need for a valid liquidation. If there is a change of character before the POI, then I need a valid liquidation. So difference is with this one, there actually was a change of character, right? But because I didn't do the pre-trade checkup, I didn't notice, right? Because I'm not asking myself the question, is there a change of character, right? And then this actually makes this a not a valid trade, right? So this is actually 1% wasted. And then you double that, because also here there wasn't a valid liquidation. Same here, no valid liquidation. If we can open this up, can I view this any better? Not really. How much can I zoom in? Is 150 the most? These screenshots are actually horrible. they're not actually that great, are they? Because I can't actually. Oh, this one is nice and close. Right, there's a chalk in there. Again, I'm using risk entry for a trade where I'm supposed to be entering using an liquidation, right? So I actually made the same mistake twice, right? So 2%, right? I'll start calculating. 2% of the account is not valid trades. Not valid trades, right? That's 2% of the account out of a total 10%. So actually I was playing against myself, right? Wasted 2%, wasted 2 trades out of 10 that I need to lose before blowing the account. So as you can see, 2 of them were wasted. Others are unaccounted for. And then we had this USD CAD break even. I remember this one we were in very deep profits, but management of the account of the trade was a little bit iffy, right? But we learned from that. I think this was a good lesson in terms of management. And I did actually journal the emotions I felt through this one, so that's good. I can always look back at that. And then USD, we had an issue of a late entry on this one, right? So I woke up, I didn't actually analyze on time, so I had a late entry on one trade. Late entry, and then what ended up happening is I ended up taking a half the risk, right? Half risk, which means I only won 50% of the actual amount, right? Because I ended up taking half risk, and this is only a 1:2 trade, so I ended up making only 50, right? Instead of the full 100. So another wasted 0.5% wasted because of late entry. 1.5% waste, not 1.5, but 0.5% wasted. GPUSD, yeah, valid loss, right? Valid trade, yes, loss, then nothing to complain about there. And then on the 30th, valid trade, yes, then it's a loss. As long as it's a valid trade, I'm okay with that, right? I also need to do a list of 100 trades, right? The target is for me to take 100 valid losses. That's the goal, right? 100 valid losses, including me actually recording them as well, right? Because it's pointless taking the 100 losses, but then I can't go back and see what have I learned from that, right? Like with this account that I just blew now, I think it's bad, like horrible management for myself, right? Because I didn't record trades in May. No recorded trades in May, and I knew the showing up was lackluster. I did not show up. Another part of not showing up that I almost forgot to touch on is the good setups, right? In May, I didn't record. Right, another problem. I didn't record any good setups, which means I was not showing up. In June, definitely did not show up for this month. No recorded good trades. And then in July, I remember, yeah, on the first week, so I did come back, but I wasn't actually on the charts. I remember these valid trades, but I did not show up again. Like another valid trade where I didn't show up, and lo and behold, you can see how many percent wasted. This was a 3.3, I believe. I'll just say 3.3. Breaking close of minor high after a sweep of the lows. Yeah, this could have been a 1:2 trade over there. Could have been also a entering on this order block, risk entry 1:3. Any of the block could have been a 1:3, 1:2. Let's say for argument's sake it's 2%, right? 2% wasted. That's 2%, and then GPUSD again, counter swing pro internal. And wait, I need to go back to this one. This was pro swing counter internal, so my target would have been 3.3 actually, not 2%. So 3%, right? Second QPSD, another 3% win, right? Another 3% here, wasted, not taken. Another 3% here, and then we move on. ESD CAD, pro swing counter internal, another 3%, which is now 9%. 9% left on the market, right? 9%. And then we will have had another valid loss here. Counter swing pro internal, valid loss minus 1%. And then finally another 3% that I missed out on last week. I remember this one. Another 3% counter swing pro internal, another 3% missed out on. Pullback form during swing leg, which makes this a valid liquidation. So as you can see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 11%. So in total, 11% wasted. Right? 11% wasted in the whole month of July. Just due to missed valid trades, 11%. So what's the takeaway from this? The takeaway is no recorded trades. No recorded trades means I wasn't journaling. So what do I need to do on the second account? First and foremost, journal each and every trade, right? Which I have been doing so far. Journal each trade, right? Target being 100 valid losses. Journal each trade, right? And then strict risk management. Strict risk management. And then also I'm going to utilize after 5 losses. After 5 losses, I'm going to cut my risk in half. Cut risk in half. I think because it's just gonna prolong the account, right? So also the stress of just coming closer and closer to losing the account will go down, which means in total I'll have to lose 15 trades, right, to blow the account. I think it's a little bit better than 10, but also gives you enough risk to actually pass the valuation and not have to spend a year on one account, which didn't make sense, right? And then not valid trades, right? So first, journal each trade, strict risk management, and then showing up, right? I need to show up, man. Showing up, which I have done. I think for the past week, last week, great week. Friday, I did take a personal day after blowing the account. I think the mental reset was okay. I'll accept that, but all in all, I have been showing up, right? So showing up, very important. Even if I don't feel like it, showing up is important. And then also I need to be more prepared to actually enter, right? So I need to do my pre-check on time. Do pre-check on time. So I need to do my pre-checks on time, because also I like today, I think I'll just get into that one on the end of day video, because I did struggle a little bit with time, right? Because if more especially entering on the 5-minute, right, I need to do calculations, stop loss placement, whatever, and if I waste time, then the market could move without me. So actually be better prepared to enter a trade. I think I'd say be better prepared, and yeah, I think those are the changes I'll make going forward with this new account. And then yeah, we'll compare at the end of this month, right? I think at the end of this month I'll then do a comparison, checking the progress, right? Am I journaling each trade? Am I having good risk management? Am I showing up every day, right? The video uploads every day are the proof, right? Like I said, uploading every day is the proof to myself that I am showing up each and every day, right? And then during the day, being more focused and asking myself the pre-entry checklist, that's important, right? And then being prepared to actually enter the trade and not being under a lot of pressure just before I enter the trade. So I think all in all, these accounts should not be a waste of money. I think at the end of the day, it should not be a waste of money, because the month of June, it, it's a waste, right? It's a waste of time and effort and money at the end of the day, because I can't account for it. Right? I can't account for the month of May. I can't account for the month of June, waste of time. And then July, half of the month, I can't account for, because I think it was two weeks out of this where I didn't show up, right? Or it might have been one week of that. But then again, it's more waste of time. So definitely have to be more mindful of my time, my energy, and money, because it is a waste of money if I am not going to take it seriously, right? So definitely need to be a lot more professional. Yeah, so August should be a month of basically just more professionalism. I don't know how to spell professionalism. That's why we have autocorrect. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. And then I'm just gonna immediately record the end of day for today and a trade recap. I did take a loss on GPUSD, a disgusting one at that. Disgusting in a way that I followed the plan exactly, good discipline, good risk management, all of that stuff. And I just get swept out and then it moves in my direction. So you gotta love those, man. You just have to love those. Peace.